notified. E-dig is for homeowners and for excavators. We're letting excavators use e-dig, but it has to be a single point address, you know, just a simple address. What that is, you go online, fill out a work order. Then you send that to our CSR. She'll fill out an actual dig notice, then email you back when your 48 hours start. So they're picking the notification area. You're not with e-dig. Then you also got our 800 number there, 362-2764, and of course 811. Beginning the process, okay? The law states that you have to call 48 hours before excavation, but not more than 10 business days, excluding weekends and holidays, okay? So if you're working on a deck project on Saturday, when do you need to call us by?
Wednesday.
Wrong. Wednesday. If you call on Thursday, it won't be due till Monday, the time that you called.
How many people are complying with this?
How many?
Are complying? I mean, the average homeowners. How many are calling you and complying with this?
We do get a lot of homeowners as far as calling. But the biggest thing is getting the word out that, you know, they have to call. You know, it is the law and stuff. You know, we can only educate the people that we, you know, get to face. We do have, you know, some radio, you know, commercials, and there's been a couple TV commercials that was put out, but, you know, a nonprofit trying to get, you know, it's kind of expensive and stuff.
And you said the utility companies were funding y'all, or are they micromanaging you and telling
We are
what y'all have to do?
Yes, we have a board, which is a 21 trustees board that actually, you know, tells our executive director, you know, he'll propose things, then they'll propose things and stuff like that. But it's a board of trustees that actually govern us. Okay. Anything else? The information we need from you. In this scroll pen, if you picked up one, on the back of one, there's a scroll in there. There's a work order right there. On the back of that memo pad, on the back of it, is an actual work notice and all the information we need. And I'm sure these are new. I don't know what page it's in it, but I'm sure there's one in there. But on here, we got a couple things highlighted. These are the most important things that we need to know. What county, city, or township that you're actually in. Okay? Most people, especially homeowners, can give us their mailing address, but they can't give their physical address. Okay? A good example of this is actually our office. Our office is at 4740 Belmont Avenue, Youngstown, Ohio. What county is Youngstown in? Mahoney. Our physical address, our building is actually in Trumbull County, Liberty Township. So if we called in our mailing address, the actual wrong utilities would be notified. Okay, so that's why it's very important to know exactly what county you're in and what township or city that you're actually in. How far off or back off the road you're going to be, okay? We need to know that distance. Cross streets and between streets. That's important to us because whenever you give the information to our CSRs, she pulls that up on the map, okay? Then if you know the cross streets and between streets that you're working at, she can actually see those streets and make sure that the area that she's notifying or the utilities that she's notifying are the exact, you know, utilities that should be notified. So that's very important to us. And the distance and direction from each cross street, okay? So that's very important. Like I said, the most important thing is the county and the city and township, okay, that we need to know. What happens when you call? Okay, we like you to give us a complete and accurate information on the notice area. The CSRs, okay, after you give us all your information, she's going to read everything that you've asked and that she's inputted back or into the computer back to you. Please pay attention to this, because this is the actual only time that we have to make sure that what we entered into the system is correct, okay? Then at the end of it, she's going to ask you, is that correct? And, you know, you're going to say yes. You know, most people, you know, zone out at that point. But we record everything, okay? Every call that comes into our center is recorded. So we can go back and, you know, replay anything that's been, you know, through our system or called through our system. We will provide you with the following information. We'll ask you if you want a list of the utilities that we are notifying. So you can ask yes or no. And we will issue a ticket number. Please write this ticket number down, because it is the only proof that you actually called us. You can request us to email this to you, but we're not going to offer it to you. You actually have to, you know, request, hey, could you email me the actual ticket? Okay? But please write that down and keep a copy of that with you. What is the ticket number? The ticket number is basically, you know, what it says up here. The A and the B that's at the beginning of the ticket number is just basically our server. We got an A server and a B server. The next number is the year number. So 2013, a 3. The next 3 digits is the Julian calendar digit or date. And like I said on that scroll, there is times out. But on this scroll, there is just the actual day of the year, okay? Then the next 5 digits is the actual sequence number. And that's the actual number that the ticket was when it was called in. And that was like the 167th ticket of that day. Yes?
I want to back up to the last slide,
Okay.
if you could, for just a second. You just recently started doing this. List the facility owners notified. In months and years past, you also have given us utilities that you do not notify. You no longer do that. Is there a reason? And because I know there's a couple instances where I've had a facility that you do not contact that I had to contact on my own.
Okay.
And you do not do that
right.
now.
In a couple slides, I will cover that.
Okay, good.
But basically what you're talking about is LBPs, limited base participants, okay? The law changed on that situation. So in a couple slides, I'll actually cover that, okay? Any questions on the actual ticket number? Right here. Actually, it's the next slide. Not all facility owners are registered with OUPS, okay? If we don't know about them, we can't notify them, okay? And this is where answer your question, okay? Effective July 1st, 2013, this is an update to the law. Limited base participants. What limited base participants was prior to July 1st was if they were in the actual notification area, we would tell you directly, here's their name, here's their number, you have to contact them directly. As of July 1st, that's actually all went away. They're getting a direct notice from us. So we're actually notifying all LBPs since July 1st, okay? I hopefully Jens would know there's actually 2 call centers in Ohio. There's us and Og Pubs. Og Pubs are the Ohio Oil and Gas Producers Underground Protection Service. They protect the small oil and gas wells. So we throw this out there to people we talk to just to make sure they are aware of it. If you're working around one of those, you know, well heads, tank batteries, or whatnot, you know, you might want to drop down their number. And, you know, there's a lot of information that they need for them to notify all their people, too. You have to know, you know, wellhead, their friggin' plot number, or whatever. It's a lot, but we throw that in here just to make sure everybody knows that there actually is another. Most of those guys are not members of us. So, like I said, that's why we put it in there. The tolerance zone. Can anybody tell me what the tolerance zone is?
It's between a certain point from where it's marked to where you have to allow the dig.
Okay, we're getting there.
I mean, if it's marked at X,
Right.
you've got so many inches on each way that you have.
Do you know
to
how many
go for.
inches that is?
I think it's 18.
Okay, you're right. The tolerance zone is basically when they put a mark on the ground, it's a approximate location of their facility, okay? So they give them a tolerance zones of 18 inches on either side of the utility or of the mark, okay? Within that 18 inches on each side, the law states you're not allowed to use powered equipment. That's what the law states, okay? I mean, middle of winter, digging through, 3 or 4 inches of solid earth, But basically, that's what the tolerance zone is. The utility, another update is universal marking standards. This is what you're supposed to be seeing out there. This is what the utility companies are supposed to be putting down on the ground. In this new excavator manual, I think on page 13, all this information is in there. We just pulled it from here and actually put it up on the slide. But it all starts on page 13. With the universal marking standards, they're supposed to identify each line, okay? If they have a single line out there, one single mark. If there's 2 or 3 lines, you should see 2 or 3 markings out there of each individual line being marked out. It's supposed to be telling you who owns it. That's what the OE is, Ohio Edison. They own that. Within that, they're supposed to be telling you who it is or who owns it, what kind of material it's made out of, and what size it is, okay? Right here, we have some gas examples. I don't know if you guys can actually see that. It's kind of blurry up here. But up there in the top left corner, that's stating that it's a steel gas line owned by CG, Columbia Gas. There's no actual size. There we go. Third time doing this. Bear with me. Size actually of it. So if you don't see a size or diameter or the size of the actual facility, you have to assume that it's 2 inches or less. Okay? So whenever you lay out your tolerance zone, you mark, that facility is 2 inches, go 18 inches on each side of that, and that mark, that's the tolerance zone. If there is actually some marks on there saying the actual size of the material, like the one behind it or below it, it says 4-inch steel owned by Columbia Gas. Now you should be looking for a 4-inch steel pipe. Now your tolerance zone is 2 more inches on each side due to the actual size of the material. Okay. Down here in the bottom is how they're supposed to be marking out duct banks. Okay. Basically, the number inside is telling you how many ducts are in that bank or lines that are in that duct bank. Okay. So there's 3 in that one, 1 in that bottom one. How many ducts and conduits are in there? Some more examples of duct bank markings. Up there in the left, that's owned by AT&T. They have 8 individual lines or ducts in that duct bank. The next one below actually has 2 companies that are actually in there. You got communications and phone or electric, Ohio Edison and AT&T. So just be aware. That's what you're supposed to be seeing out there. If they're doing it or not, there's no teeth in the law yet. So nobody's policing it yet. So and some more offsets. There. Like I said, you can review all that stuff.